What is it, you hungry?
Hey guys, so today I am bringing you something a little bit different. I am actually doing an experiment for one of my classes. It's experimental methods, and it's a psychology class. So if you guys are interested in psychology and you like doing stuff like that, you're probably going to find this very interesting. So kind of to briefly explain the experiment to you, first we are going to take two people, me and my partner in my group, and we're dressed the same way. So one of us is going to go drop off some of our stuff. We're gonna kind of sit there for a little bit, and then we're gonna ask somebody to watch it while we go use the restroom or something like that. And then another person will come and they're going to sit down and see if they notice that it's a completely different person sitting next to them. So yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit deeper into the explanation of that in a little bit, but that's briefly what we're going to do.
Alrighty, so this is our psych experiment. We are calling it the doppelganger effect, or are men or women more aware of their surroundings? That is our basic question for our experiment. So in this clip, me and my group are going to demonstrate for you what we're actually going to be doing in our experiment. As you can see here, I went ahead and sat down across from my group member Izzy, and I set up my laptop. Then I go ahead and ask her if she could watch my stuff while I go to the restroom or whatever excuse I make up. And then here in a little bit, you're going to see me and Joe switch places. Here are Joe and I. We are switching our jackets and our hats. We were pretty much wearing the same thing already, but we wanted to go ahead and just be as accurate as we could be in terms of data collection and make sure that we could look as similar as possible. Then Joe walks over to Izzy. She sits down next to her. She thanks her, and obviously this is just a demonstration. Izzy knows who we are, so she's not going to say anything. But that's basically our experiment. Alright, so for those of you who usually watch my vlogs, this is obviously going to be a little bit different because it is for my psychology class. I do need to talk about this really quickly, so if you don't want to pay attention to this part, you can go ahead and skip it. But really quickly, I'm going to talk about a similar study that has been done, and it is called Change Blindness in the Absence of Visual Disruption. It's by Daniel Simmons, Stephen Frangoneri, if I'm pronouncing that right, Rebecca Reamer, and these people are from the Department of Psychology at Harvard University. They discuss how people don't perceive changes when they're not paying attention to their surroundings, especially so with disruption. And then in the experiment, participants were given visual test trials, and they had to detect addition or deletion of certain objects. The results detected similarities in visual test trials at 63.6% and disruption conditions at 59.7%. In the second experiment, they tested detection of color changes instead of the addition and deletion of objects, and then the experiments together showed that a visual disruption or gradual change isn't really necessary for change blindness, but overall we might not notice our gradual changes. So here we have this experiment that we're referring to just on a graph. It shows the people who noticed gradual changes, the people who had disruption condition, and then people who just guessed their answers when it came to the change blindness test. And it also shows whether they noticed addition and deletion or color change. So overall, my group and I were definitely able to see relation to this change blindness test. We were able to see the results that they found, that many people don't pay attention to their surroundings. And we were honestly a little shocked and a little offended because personally, I think Joe and I don't look all that similar. I thought we were a little more unique than other people perceived us to be. So our hypothesis for this experiment was that more men would notice the change that was going on than women would. We just felt like men were a little bit more aware of their surroundings and more willing to say something if they did notice what was going on. A few limitations we experienced during this experiment was working with pairs or groups, asking a pair of people or a group of people to watch our stuff, and we just thought that it wouldn't be good to include in the actual data collection of our experiment because a group of people could turn to each other and agree together that they did or did not see the switch happen, and we didn't want that to affect the results negatively. We didn't want that extraneous variable to be part of our results. So we just decided to target people who were sitting by themselves instead of groups of people or pairs of people. So this guy was the first to notice that me and Joe switched. I'm covering most of these people that we got their faces close enough with weird emojis, so enjoy that. But it was really awkward whenever he called us out for switching. He was just like asking if I was Joe's friend, and then I was just awkwardly like, no, this is for a project. But yeah, it was really weird doing this project overall because you never knew if somebody was going to catch you or not. So before I show you guys the graphed results, I'm just going to break it down for you here really quickly. On day 1, we had 1 male notice, 2 males and 1 female that did not notice. On day 2, we had 2 males and 1 female notice, 1 male and 2 females that did not notice. Day 3, 1 female did notice, 1 male and 1 female did not notice. And finally on day 4, 1 male and 1 female did notice, 1 female did not notice. We had a total of 16 participants, 8 guys, 8 girls, and males did in fact notice more than females when we switched. So this is the graph of the information that I just finished talking to you guys about. One of the reasons that we chose a bar graph is because it's best suited for graphing frequencies using different categories, and it's easier to visualize the frequency of our participants noticing or not noticing. And that's pretty much all just according to our textbook as well as our personal preference.
Okay, so did you guys notice that I came over here and asked you to watch my stuff, and then she came back? So you guys didn't notice that I was a different girl at all?
No.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
So some things that we've learned from this experiment was that A, our hypothesis was proven to be correct. B, college students in different environments don't necessarily pay attention to what's going on around them. And we believe that some of the reasons that this is because of stress, which I completely understand. Sometimes your assignments just consume all of your attention. But speaking of attention, we do have a low attention span, and sometimes we just don't care. So that is what we believe is the cause to this. These are our references for any outside information that we used for this project in case anybody wants to look at that. Before I go, I did want to mention my other teammates who are part of Team Balance. That's Izzy, Joe, Leslie, Amy, Crystal, and myself. This is on my vlog, however, this is all our own project. We all contributed to it, and I honestly had such a blast doing it. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit different. It was definitely a fun project to work on, and I hope you guys are having a great night. Look forward to my regular video this week around Wednesday, Thursday, Friday-ish, and we'll see you guys then.